Hello and welcome to this new video here. Well, there's something missing here. Yes, we need some materials. Well, let me fix some materials. Here we go. And here we are. A propane tank. Yes, a nice big propane tank. So this is what I'm gonna start with. And I'm gonna start by taking away the bit we don't need on this tank at all. And that's the top. So let's cut that away. Like that. And now we are left with the piece we need for this little build. And I will do some simple modifications here in the beginning. Let's cut to that also. Like that. And there we have it. You have the hatch and the ventilation hatch. This is that we have. You see here, I have welded some hinges on here. So this is the fire hatch and this is the ventilation hatch, like that. And they close really good. And how I made this was by doing it the simplest way ever. I cut this gut first down here. Then I welded on my hinges. Then I made these cuts. And the same here, I cut that first, welded on the hinge, and then I made these cuts. And that's why they are fitting so very good here. As you see, they work perfectly. And when you do that, it doesn't matter if your cuts are 100% square or straight. It will fit just as it was when it was cut. This is a little bit off. It goes a little bit to the right with the upper part here. But that doesn't matter. It's just perfect fit because, as I said, I cut it there first, put on the hinges, welded them, then made these cut. That's why it doesn't need any trimming to fit. And right now I have a magnet on here, just sitting like that. Otherwise the hatch is closing so perfect so it goes through the hole and into the burn compartment if I don't have this small magnet here stopping it. Remove the magnet, you will see that it actually goes past because it fits really perfect. So I will get some materials and I will come back with a little bit more explanation of what I'm doing here and why. So I'll be back in just a second. There I have some materials added to this, and now I will start my small explanation tour here. So, as maybe some of you know already, I already have a propane stove that I made, I believe it was 2-3 years ago, something like that. And that one is super efficient and it works just perfect. And that's what I'm intending to recreate. As far as I have come now with cutting these hatches, these are cut just in the same positions and everything as on my other stove. And the dimensions I took from my previous build. So everything at this point is just the same. So you might ask, why are you building one more if it's gonna be the same? Well, it's the same with a little twist, a little tweak. Because there is one thing with the old stove I'm not really pleased with. And since I had one more of these tanks, I had 2 tanks exactly. The one I built and this one I'm gonna build. And instead of just driving this to the scrap heap and scrapping it, I thought, let's build one more. But this time, build it just as it should have been built from the beginning. I missed a little crucial thing I didn't think about, and that was on the top here. There was just a lid here going over like that, and in the middle here I have my the sleeve for the stove for the stovepipe. Yes, it was sitting here, and under here it was open up to the sleeve, and it went straight out. And that meant 2 problems. The first problem is that when you are burning in here, your heat dissipates much of the heat escapes out the chimney. And that's because it's direct going out and up. So in this build, this is gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna have a top here, much like the one I had before, and there's gonna be a hole in the middle here again, much like on the other one. But the big difference here is that there's gonna be a second top just under this opening here, around and cover all this area, and there is coming one lid over that, so this area in between them is gonna be open area, almost. What more needs to be done here? Well, in the bottom here, I won't do much. It will be open to the bottom. This is for ash to fall down here, and this is for being able to scoop out any ash or pour out ash. In between here, about where this line is here, there will be a floor to the burn area. It will be round like this here. It will be rounded like that, so it fits around the place, but it will be made out of 10mm steel. This is I believe 3 or 4mm. I think it's 3mm. But the floor will be made out of a 10mm hard oak steel, and I will make cuts in it like that, slots all the way over, so ash can fall through it and air can pass through it, but the wood will stay burning up on it. So that will be the burn area bottom, will be in about there. And this is the ash chamber, you could call it, and it will also be, you will be able to regulate the airflow with this hatch, but I will also make airflow regulator on this one and also one on this one. So there will be a possibility to regulate air up here, down here, and also through opening and closing this hatch, as opening and closing this hatch. But this hatch should be mostly closed at all times. Usually when I burn in my stove that I already built, I use the lower regulator here for slow burns, and instead of regulating this to max, I just open this a little bit to let a lot of air in if I want it to really flame up. This regulator is also in use all the time, but it's on very small adjustment. I have adjusted it to barely being open, and I have found that that's the best setting to have it, because if the bottom in between here gets too much ash or something on it, you need to stir a little bit in the burn area here to make the ash fall down. But if it gets like that, it clogs the area for air to pass through, and if you don't have this a little bit open, it starves the fire of oxygen. So you have to have a little bit of airflow here, just to, if this happens, it will still keep burning, but it will drag the air in from this area instead from here. But in normal use, this would not even need to be open. You should be able to regulate it with this regulator, or as I said before, if you want really much air going in, you open the hatch a little bit and it sucks a lot of air in there. So the next step is, for me, is to cut this one out, and this is, as I said before, the floor. We are calling it the floor here, and I need to do one more, and that will also be made out of a thicker material to be the stove top here, and then I also will make the thicker burn area bottom here. So there will be 3 rings, one here, that's the bottom, one here, That's the bottom of the top, and then the top plate. And the last thing to do with those are to cut the hole in the top here and make the stove adapter here, or the adapter here for the stove pipe. Then I can start working on the latches and the regulators. So it's not so much work it's not so much work with building this, because it's pretty much already built. It's a pretty much finished vessel at the point. It has the stand, it has the sides and everything. This took me like 10 minutes to make. The hatches here. The most acquiring part of this is to cut out the different plates here. But now I will start to make these three bottoms or tops or whatever, and I will weld them in place. There's not much to see here, and it's very, very hard to film it because I'm in here, and yeah, you know the deal about that. So if I can, I will make some filming, but don't count on it. You'll see in a couple of seconds. So I have my drawings on the tube on the side here. Yeah, there's most of the drawings. But anyway, that about that. Let's start building. Okay then, I have made some progress. This is the top of the stove. It's just a round plate out of hardox, and I have made myself the hole for the stove connection here. And, those of you who have seen my previous camp stove build, you know how I made this hole. I made it the same way, and you will also recognize the cutoff like that. And those of you who haven't seen it can go back and look at that if you want to see exactly how this was made. Otherwise, I just cut this out with a grinding wheel, so it's not 100% round, but it's good enough. So this part is finished for welding, and then we have what I should call the deflector. It's this part. It's looking a bit funny, but I will explain it in a while. But that's the deflector. And then I have my burn button, like that. We can put it like that. This is the back. Are the sides, and these are the front. Here is the hatch for opening. And what I have marked here is my pattern for the gills that's gonna be in this. So these thick lines here, those are the gills. Since this is cut, since I have cut off the ends like this, from the beginning it was round like that, and also in the back. So this cutoff and these cutoffs makes these bits here will also be additional openings for air to pass through, like that, and also like that. Because if we take something around like that and we put it like that, and then you can see that part will be an opening, and that part will be an opening, and that will also be an opening, like that. And then we will have the gills. And and how this works, as I said, I will explain. We will take the top again here. This is the top, and if you look from the bottom up now, this is the top. This one will be saturated like that. In the other direction. Here is the outlet. So have it. I have burned off the holes a little bit so I don't cut myself. That's the only reason I did this. And I did it also a little bit on this side. I have reformed my process here. I won't cut these open. Instead, I will bore additional holes here. You can perhaps see my markings I have done. So I will actually do additional holes instead of cutting these all the way open. I think that will help with eliminate the risk of this warping when it gets heated, and there will be more metal even between the holes, and that will also rigid it up a little bit, but there will still be enough space for air to pass through, I believe. I will do the holes and we will look at it and we will see what we think when it's done. So, here we have it. The final result. And I think this is good enough. I think this will let enough air through here without interrupting anything. And I think that, well, the ash will go down when you disturb it, and then you have these bigger openings in the corners. You can actually, if you have a lot of ash, you can actually push it to the edges and it will fall down easily. So I think this is good enough. I'm pretty satisfied with it. And yes, I know they aren't straight, but that doesn't matter. When I did the additional hole, I didn't care about marking or taking any measurements or anything. I just eyeballed them. So they are a little bit off, but that doesn't matter because this is the last time you will actually see it this easily. The next time you see this, it will be inside the stove and it will be very hard to see the holes. And when you have ash on it and things, and when you are burned in the stove, you won't even notice there are holes. So yeah, that doesn't matter at all. That's why I didn't care about the straightness or anything. I just eyeballed it and drilled it, and that's good enough. So this piece is actually done now. There's nothing more we need to do to that one. And the only thing I have left to do now is to make those strips I talked about that will go inside the stove, that will stop the lid from going past like it does now. And that will be like 20 millimeters or something, 25 millimeters strips. That will be as long as the lids. So the lower one will be like that, and the top one will be like that, something. And I will weld them in place as I weld the bottom and the top in place. So I will cut those off. No, I will shear those off with a shear cutter, so that's nothing to film. And then I will start welding. And here are the two final pieces. This is for the upper hatch, and this is for the lower hatch. And that's all that there is to it. So next step, welding. Let's go! since I last saw you? Well, I welded it up. It's all welded now, everywhere, inside, outside, and I also welded on the stovepipe connection up here. But that you saw, but it was a bit fast. But I'm not done. It needs to be more welded here, but I need to grind everything off before I do that. Then I do the beauty weld at the last thing, because now I have gone over it. As you can see, firstly we can say, yes, I have burnt a little bit in it. I have burned just to get smoke. And why did I do that? Well, that was because I wanted to check for leaks. So I got it smoking, and then I checked here if I had any leaks. I didn't, but I had leaks a little bit around here. So I did some additional welding in many places, and that weld, well, let's say it's not looking the best because there's spots like everywhere that I had to weld. So what I will do is that I will grind everything off and then put a beauty weld, we can call it, around it that doesn't do anything structural. It's just for it to be looking a little bit better, but that comes later. It's not important now. Now I'm building this and I want it to just work. The beauty thing comes later, because I intended to paint this black also with heat paint, but I found out that I was out of black heat paint. I only have white, but I don't want it white. I want it black. So that's one more thing. It has to wait for the paint, so I will do that later, but I will proceed with the build for you. So what did I do more? Well, I built the latches, as you see. They are new. And I did it exactly as I said that I would. I would do it in the simplest ever way you can do it. This is just a straight plate of, I made a straight plate of steel that I bended in the end, like that. I made a little groove here, and I bored a hole in it there. Then I bored a hole in the hatch here, put a bolt through here, and just welded it on the backside and cut it off. And therefore, the hatch is there. The same thing here. I just bored a hole through, put a bolt in, and I secured it with a weld on the backside and cut it off. And that's it. It took less than 3 minutes. I did the same thing here. The hatch is made in the same way like this, with the same dimensions. Put a bolt through, welded in there. But on this side I did it a little bit different. Firstly I bored a hole, but I bored it in an angle like that. And I put the bolt in from the back side. So it's the head that's welded in here, and the threads out here. And I put a nut on here, just a couple of threads, and I welded it on the end. So why did I do that? Well, that's because it's what's supposed to be. No, it's not. It's supposed to work like this. You hatch it like that, then you can regulate it like this on the threads, and the threads catches it like that wherever you stop it. So you have the max out here like that, and you have the mean in here, and you can hear the threads there. So I can stop it wherever I want, and it makes it tight there, and then you get the ventilation around the hatch. This is because, no, it's not because, it's why I did it is because I thought, if I'm gonna do this simple, I'm gonna do it really simple. I'm not gonna build the ventilations that I have on my other one. Firstly, this ventilation is totally unnecessary due to it being hardly used on my other one. I have it in use, but it's on the absolute lowest setting. And on this one I can achieve that just by letting the air in through this gap of 1.6 millimeters going all the way here. That sucks practically the same amount of air that the regulator does on the other one up here. Down here I don't need it anymore because I will regulate the air with the hatch instead. Since I have this mechanism here that allows me to choose wherever I want the setting to be. Totally closed, just a little bit open, and then you have the settings wherever you want there. And this, in this last position here, it's open so much that it's practically fully open. It doesn't matter if it's in that position or if it's in that position. It doesn't suck more air. So this is there is fully open. And then you have the ability to go all the way to fully closed, like so. What more I did was that I welded a stopper plate all the way in the lower edge here. I said I would put it there, but I didn't. I put it here instead, all the way. So it supports the hatch all the way. And it's closed like that. Up here, I put the plate, as I said, on the edge here. And it stops anything from coming out or going in that way. But what I noticed when I was burning, I was also burning some wood just to get the heat up so I could get the paint off of this upper part here. I still have to take it off from the lower part. What I noticed was that there was no sparks shooting up the chimney at all. Nothing. Just plain smoke and heat going out there. No sparks at all. My other one shoots sparks, but this one, nothing. But there's always a but. Everybody gets a but, and this one also. So, but as I said, this one shoots sparks from here. And why is it shooting sparks from there? Well, every stove creates sparks. When the wood crackles, it sparks. But on this one, you have the deflector here. So it hits the deflector, and it doesn't want to do the U-turn and then a 90 to start going out the chimney. But what it does is that it hits the deflector and it shoots straight out like this. And you can't see it, but I can see it. The center of the deflector is just in this height. So the sparks come flying against this part here, and they find this hole, this not hole, but this gap here. That's 1.6 millimeters, and some of them manage to shoot out here and fall down on the ground. So that's a small problem. So what I will do is that I will alter my plans. I have put this one in, but I will also put one of the same here, and I will also put one here just in case some sparks want to go a little bit down and hit this gap between the hinges here. Just to secure that, I will put one equal to that one on this side and one upper here. I don't want to put anything down here. I don't need to put anything down here because the sparks doesn't deflect down there. They hit up here, or maybe on the sides up here. So it will be 1, 2, 3, but no one down here. So I will have to cut those out and put those two in. And as I said, down here I only have this part here. In the bottom, I didn't put in this side one, and I won't put in any top or side here, because the holes are so far in here. I checked for 1 hour what happens if I have this hatch fully open like this, and nothing fall closer than like 8 centimeters from this opening, and it's totally sealed up here. The weld is going all the way here, so nothing can come through from here. The nearest hole is like 8 centimeters in. So if it falls down there, it falls down to the bottom, and that's no problem. Nothing dramatic will happen here. It could stay open like this all the time and nothing would fall out. So this is enough. This is mostly the support for the hatch when you transport it, so it won't bend. And the upper one here will actually do the same thing as the lower one here. It will also support this hatch. If it comes under pressure for some reason, it might warp inwards. But having an edge here that prevents the sparks will also prevent it from being able to warp inwards. It could do that a bit on the bottom here, but if you have one here, I think it would stop it. It's pretty rigid as it is, so I don't see any problem there. So that's what's left. To put these two edges in, and then the build is done. That's all I have left to do. And as I said, I tested last night, and I found these problems. Well, stop. I found one more thing. And it was when I welded this, sorry, wrong way. When I welded this latch here, I didn't put this bolt in enough. So I have very much play in this one. And I have a solution for that. And the name of the solution is actually, it's a washer, but not a complete washer. Well, a complete washer, but I need to cut it into half, like that. And that will make it able for me to put the half in like that from each side, and then weld them together. And then what I will do here, I will round this out, and I will take the two halves of washer. We will put one on each side. I need to do this a little bit over here to get them in. So that, and then I need my welding gun. I have over here, and I will try not to burn myself too badly here. Ah, of course I did.
Stupid.
Of course I did. Let's do that one then. No. Let's do it like that. I need to shoot this off. So. So, doesn't take much. Now you will see there's almost no play left. I will cut myself the top part here and this part, and weld those on also. Okay then, good folks, we are officially done welding now. Let's look. Ta-da! We have 1, 2, and 3 sides in. I only left the bottom side, as I said before. So this is actually complete. It was very hard getting the welds on this and this, because I only had a hatch to go through, and it's very hard to get the angle to get the welds really saturated on the back side there. But finally, after a lot of welding, they are in place. And as I said before, I didn't add anything more here. We only have the bottom lip, no lip there, and no lip there, so, and no lip here. So this is all I'm gonna do. I'm only gonna take you for a little ride here. That's just so you can see, probably help. It's to look on the deflector. You have the deflector up there. There you can see it. Everything has to go over that edge to reach the stovepipe over there. So that's the use of the deflector. And here are the edges. 3 of them there. And here's a better look at the latch, and here you can see how I put the pieces together. And here is the bottom latch. I think it's best like that. You can see how it works, like that. You can adjust it freely in this range here, like so. So let's see if we can get some fire in this one. Let's see if we can get this going. I only have 5 pieces of wood, but that should be enough. So we have burned for 2 minutes about since I lighted, and I will check the temperatures, and you will get them in Fahrenheit and Celsius. So we start, you will see the dot. Right up here we have 180, 91, 95, 96 Fahrenheit, and that's 91.2 degrees Celsius. Up here in the deflector area I have 92, that's 197.7 Fahrenheit. And on the stovepipe we have 120 Fahrenheit, that's 48.9 degrees at this point. And on the lower hatch here there's only 16 degrees Celsius, that's 60.6 degrees Fahrenheit. I will also do a measure here on the side. Here we already have 277.8 Fahrenheit. That's 136.6 degrees Celsius. And on the back we have 413 Fahrenheit. That's 211 degrees Celsius. So it's rapidly getting hot. I believe it's already too hot for me to handle the latch here. It's burning very intense in there. We're 4 minutes into the burn now. The top is now 478 Fahrenheit, 247 Celsius. So almost 300 degrees Celsius here. Well, there are spots that peaking up to 320 degrees on some spots here. yeah. (360°C, that's 682 Fahrenheit on the backside. So it's hot. It's very hot and very efficient. And this area here is super hot now compared to earlier. So the deflector here really helps to get this front area heated here. So you could cook whatever you want up here. And it burns really nice. So I will start to slowly burn down a bit by closing the lower hatch up. Yeah. It starts up again if I open it more. I can only open it a little bit here if I want to see how the fire gets down in intensity. It gets too much air if I open it more than and just open it a little bit like this. But when I closed it here, it went down a lot. So it's working just fine. And now when this gap here and this gap here and this gap here is practically closed, I'm not worried about any sparks coming out from here. And here is still a gap, but I'm not worried there either. And definitely not down here. It's not even possible. If you look at the area here, there is some ambers down there, but nothing in front there. All of it is on the backer part, the back half here. So it's working just as intended. So I'll put on small burn. So it's working super efficient right now. And I will give you the view of the stack again, so you can see yourself that almost invisible smoke coming there. It's giving an incredible amount of heat right now. I'm almost 1.5 meters away, and I don't want to be much closer. When I get up to 1 meter away, it gets almost unbearable hot. Like here. No fun here anymore. I need to back off. It gives so much heat. So very much heat. So I think that's it. I will let it burn and watch it a while more. As I said before, what's left after this is just to clean it up everywhere and to paint it. But I still don't have the paint. I have ordered the paint, but I haven't gotten it yet. So, and when I know I will get the paint, I will clean this edge up here up. And I will put a beauty weld around there. And then I will paint the whole stove in heat-resistant paint, just because I want to have it look as nice as possible. That's what's left, and that's about what I have for this episode and this build. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. that would be much appreciated. And if you like the video, maybe give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to share. Share with your friends, your boss, your whatever. Share as much as you can, so as many as possible can be able to see this video and my other videos. And if you haven't checked my other videos out, please do that. Go to my channel, check my other videos out. There are more build videos, both of stoves and of other things, and repair videos. So there is much to watch. Please go to my channel, subscribe, like and share. So that's all. See you in the next one.